So as Adobe is still the most important software for portrait photographers. If you asked me about a year ago, I probably would have said, of course, it's very, very important, if not the most important. However, I've seen myself in the past 6 or 8 months, or even maybe the past year, I've been using Adobe Photoshop less and less now, to the point that I was actually trying out this software to see on whether or not I can actually do it from start to finish. So hi everyone, this is Jiggie, a portrait photographer from the Philippines, and welcome to the channel. So if you're new to the channel and would want to learn more about off-camera flash photography, or maybe just photography in general, then this channel is for you, because I do a lot of instructional videos, well, mostly all about lighting. You can check out the rest of the videos in the channel if you're interested in that. But once in a while, I do reviews like this to show my entire workflow as a photographer, as a working photographer, and I'm always looking for ways and means to be able to make life easier. And this one just might have done it. It's called Evoto. So I've been using Evoto for quite a while now because, as I said earlier, it has taken over my AI retouching, or basically my portrait retouching, because it's absolutely fantastic. So no questions with that one. However, for an entire workflow, I was just wondering how this one would actually go from capturing the images to actually exporting it. So what are the 4 things that we actually need a software to do for portrait photography? Well, the first one is the ability to tether, or for you to import your images to this particular software for you to edit. It basically your raw conversion software. Well, this one, let's start off with that one first. Number 1, tethering. Evoto can actually tether. Now, let's see how simple it is. So I have my Sony A1 Mark II here. I have Evoto opened up in my computer. I've got a USB-C cable. Well, usually I have a tether cable that's actually longer, but for purposes of this demo, I'll just have my USB-C connected here. Turn on my Sony A1 Mark II, connect it to the USB-C port. I have right now Evoto open, and I will go tethered shooting. So let's see what happens the moment I plug my camera. It is actually there. So you can see that it's got the A7C Mark A7, sorry, my A1 Mark II. I have all my settings here. Why is it on ISO 100 2000? So let's take a few photos. There, that's one. Oh, that's so fast. 2. There. It's wired tethering. Let's check out wireless tethering. Oh, pretty cool. I can actually go wireless tethering when your computer and camera are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. So of course, you can also import the images, which I can do now. What I'll do is I will actually create a new album. So I'll go to my library. I'll create a new project. I'll say Evoto demo. All right. So from here, instead of tethered shooting, I'll just import my files. So my files are over here. So here are my raw files. I've got 85 items now. So all the pictures are there. All the raw files are here. Now, here's something that's actually pretty cool. There is what you call smart culling. So that's number 2. So after you've actually taken the photographs as a portrait photographer, we need to find a way to put it in our computer. So we can use it via tethering cable, so directly into my computer, or I can just copy the contents of my card to my computer, then import it to Evoto. So check number 1. Number 2, I use Adobe Bridge as my culling software because it is super easy. All you have to do is press a certain number and you can label it, which I can see I can actually do here. But this is the most important. There's such a thing called smart culling now. I know this is also in Lightroom, but you know what? As I said, I just want to keep it in one software to see if this is actually a viable option from Adobe. Let's do smart culling. So if I click on this, you've got a total of 85 pics, or you've got a total of 85 photos, and immediately it said 26 out of the 85. So what's it going to do? It's going to remove the closed eye. It's going to remove a lot of little things like, of course, your sensitivity to being underexposed, overexposed, blur detection, and cluster detection. The cluster detection is most likely probably going to be the best photo of a series of images. So let's try and start culling and see how long it will take. So it says here about a minute for about 85 photos, which isn't so bad. So if I do like 850 photos, it's gonna cut it in 10 minutes. Not so bad. But this is something though that I've been hesitant to let go of in terms of AI technology because of course we've worked so hard to create some images. We want to still have our input on what picture we think is best. However, just want to give it a try. Why not, right? Who knows? It might actually work well, or it actually might learn from how I actually like choosing. Oh, it's done. See? Then it picked the top 26 and started at 5. Pretty interesting. Then let's see what it did not choose. Maybe the closed eyes. Though, see, this is where the software still isn't that perfect because I intentionally asked my wife, by the way, this is my wife, Coco, who is always the model of my videos. Now, if you guys are familiar with the channel, you know that. But if you're not, do check out the rest of the videos in the channel and you would see how I actually shot all of these images. So what was I saying? Yeah, her eyes were closed. I intentionally asked her to close her eyes, and the software saw it as eyes closed and actually removed it. So you can see that the software actually works when it comes to that. However, you still need to train it. AI calling, it's there. It's in its infancy, but there's a potential to it. Now, here is where Evoto shines. Now, let's just randomly choose the best picks. This is where it shines. Editing. It's just so crazy what this particular software can do. Now, as I said earlier, this is one thing that I've actually not allowed any other software except for Adobe or maybe Capture One to do, which is my raw conversion. But the way I see it, it's okay. It's actually rendering the raw files properly, so I can do all my major adjustments here or my color adjustments here. But I won't bore you guys with that one, but everything's here. From tone, presence, dehaze, vibrance, everything's here. This is where Evoto actually shines. Look at this. I know my wife is gonna kill me, but there is something here that I always like removing. And look at this. Dark circles and eye bags. Gone. It was that easy. Now, if I want to remove some blemishes, let's say let's zoom in here. Look at that. Let's remove some blemishes there. But Coco doesn't have too many of those, so we're okay. But this is the before, this is the after. Now, there's so many options here, like even the lips. Look at the lips. I can remove the wrinkles and the flakes if I want to. Easily, just like that. And then you've got facial wrinkles. You've got, oh, here, body blemishes and neck wrinkles. Let's see what the neck wrinkles will do. Should remove that. Perfect. And look at this one. This is so cool. Armpit touch-up. Wow. Easy. And of course, you can go overboard, but I always like bring it back to make it as realistic as possible. Then if you want, and you've got options here, like look at this one here. I do like all the stray hairs though, but if in case that you don't want it, there is stray hair removal. Look at that, removed. Easily removed. Then you've got full body reshape if you want to play around with that one. Here is where it becomes super cool. If I actually was shooting tethered live right now, every single thing that I just did now will be applied to the next. So it just saves me so much time. But I can also just press Command A and press sync. And the moment I press sync, that's it. It's just going to sync it to all the images that were chosen. And that's how simple it is. And then from there, I click export. Then I can choose what type of exports I want. I want the JPEG full size. If I want it for web, you know, everything's here. From start to finish, I can actually do a shoot and give it to the client, done immediately. That's why it made me think, is Adobe still king of the hill when it comes to portrait photographers? Because portrait photographers are really based on portrait retouching. And if we've got an AI-based software like so that can do amazing retouching on the spot and still have all those options of tethering, of or everything that we actually need from a photo software, well, this is actually something that could be worth exploring. right? But you know what? Don't take my word for it. I think the best way for you to experience it is to actually try out the software yourself. I'll put a link in the description below. And of course, this is actually a credit-based software. Unlike Adobe, which you have a subscription base that you pay for the entire year, this one you pay per image that you actually export, not edit, but export. So once you're done with this one, when you export it, you get charged a few cents per picture that you're exporting. And for me personally, depending on the amount of pictures that you take every year, this is actually a relatively very affordable software. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do consider subscribing to the channel, and while you're at it, click that notification bell. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And I do hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, again, subscribe to the channel and do check out the rest of the videos in the channel. Okay? Till the next video.